Ready.
Hey guys, you're watching Daniel and Gian Talk, and today we're going to be doing a full review of Jab We Met. Before we get started, I just want to make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Ring the bell if you're already subscribed. Like this video. The movie starts off definitely different. It was not what I was expecting.
It was grim.
It was real dark.
No dialogue. Well, real dark for a love story, I feel like.
Right,
You
absolutely.
know, like, it's not dark compared to Ramon Regab 2.0.
No, not in that regard, but dark in the sense of like, you know,
suicide.
The guy gets on the train to commit suicide, and we
don't really know like what
know
led
who he
him to
is,
that point.
what's going on. I mean, we did kind of see
what the woman, but I mean, there's no dialogue.
Nothing gets confirmed about what the relationship was either, but it was a lot of visual stuff going on until Kareena Kapoor shows up, and then she's the one
who wouldn't shut up
for the entire film. I don't think there was like any silent moments coming from her other than like in the montage sequences
when there was nothing.
Yeah, but yeah, her character was basically.
Well, what did you think about the opening? Like how it started? Do you think it fit the overall narrative? Did you enjoy that?
I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it because I was expecting something a little more cheery.
Salman Khan-ish?
Yeah, you know, I was expecting.
Not something related to suicide.
I was expecting the cliche stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, I was expecting it.
Which came, but
eventually
a little later.
But it didn't start off right off the bat, you know, that way, and I think that was good. Like it set because it took a while to get away from that tone too. It stayed a bit somber up until
for at least 20, 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah,
like,
and you're like, whoa, and to the point where I was like expecting bad stuff to happen.
So was I.
And it. You know, that didn't happen, and we'll get back to that later. But
well, I was to the point where I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be wrong about this. Like my impressions, like this movie might be one of those rare, and I think ultimately it is the rare, you know, mainstream film that does capture enough of things that I like to watch in a movie, but also enough for the other people. What did you think of her performance though? Like the fact that she didn't shut up. Because I feel like there's two. I think she was happy and go-lucky until they go their separate ways, and then the next time you see her, she kind of has to build that back up again.
Right, because I mean, her life got turned upside down.
Right.
You know, and there was a bit of naivete to her that she like, you know, we all saw it at some point, and then it kind of pays off in that sequence when he goes and.
I like that sequence. It was really long. Or were you talking about where you find out that she's not getting married? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh. No, yeah, definitely. That's part of it.
What I enjoyed about that is pure cinema. Like it was all pure cinema. You knew exactly what was going on, regardless if like some moments were a little bit over the top, and then you have music to guide you. But there was no dialogue. There was none of that. I mean, there's one shot that I even wrote like where she's all happy to see this guy that they were supposed to get married or whatever their circumstance was, and then she's like super happy, and it just stays on her, and then she goes from like a smile to like to a cry in like one shot.
Like it's like the realization of like what she was expecting.
And you don't know what he's saying.
No.
You don't know you don't know any of that.
We don't need to.
Exactly, that's my point.
Yeah.
It says it all in her face, in the visuals.
Shahid Kapoor's performance as well.
Yeah, he's younger, a lot younger, and definitely.
I mean, hair and facial hair
do so much for
so much, like made him look like a completely different person.
It doesn't help me out at all.
No.
Whether I have it or I don't have it, whether I have hair or I don't have it.
Because you got a weak ass chin. Like,
that is not true.
Like Carlos says.
My chin is fine.
Who's got a weaker chin, Carlos? You or Daniel?
Okay, that's right.
But no, I like his performance, and I know this is an earlier film of his, but. We've seen him play 3 completely different characters.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
So far. He's got a lot of range. And
for sure.
Underrated, I think. I feel like people in our comments don't talk about him the way they talk about
unless they're talking about Hatter. Like, that's it. Which doesn't, I mean, he did a great performance in that, but I'm just saying, I think, you know, this is definitely is underrated. What do you think about their use of CGI, like green screen, and then model cars? And trains.
Oh.
I thought that was very interesting that they used macro photography and then they used green screen instead of using rear screen projection on those things.
Right. I mean, it was noticeable immediately.
I also think it was noticeable because it's older.
Could be.
And we're so we're so used to.
Could be.
You can also see the chroma key like behind them.
Right. I mean, it's like it made it look old school, and if it's gonna look old school, you might as well just use the old school techniques,
which is rear screen projection.
Yeah, exactly. Like South by Southwest.
Because they were doing everything else.
North by Northwest.
North by Northwest.
You know those train sequences, like when you watch them, this is
right. And I was surprised to see the model, the wide shots with the train. Like he's gonna commit suicide, and it's like it looked like a claymation train, like a stop motion train, which is what it was. And I have no criticisms for that, because in my opinion,
that would have been better than trying to put like some shitty CGI.
Exactly. I actually respect that. Even though it doesn't look good. Does it look good? No, it doesn't. Like, we can both agree.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even really notice.
See? So that
worked for me.
That proves my point, because it works, and it works because of the sound design. So like, I don't hate on it at all. Like, I feel like the fact that they tried to do that to even get those shots, and they're like, well, we can't get a train, and we can't like put a camera here, and they're like, let's figure out a way to do it with the model. Hats off. I think that's cool, because you don't see that in movies, I feel like, anymore.
No.
Because they don't want to get made fun of for looking like King Kong, you know, the original King Kong, like some claymation fucking shit.
Although in this last King Kong movie, didn't they use some model stuff for the ships and stuff? That was model stuff. And
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I know for Peter Jackson's they did for sure.
That's what I meant for the Peter Jackson.
Oh, I thought you meant
the
new Kong. There's another Kong.
I haven't seen it.
With Samuel Jackson.
Is there? Oh, that's right. That came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's in the Godzilla universe.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's going to be a Godzilla versus King Kong. Anyway, so let's get into some of the things that maybe weren't necessarily as good. Like, I personally, there's this scene where I had a love-hate relationship. When the parents come to Aditya to, like, get my daughter back, whatever, I know she's with you, blah, 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 blah. Like, already that was weird, because you texted me this, where it's like, in this movie, everyone seems to know where everybody is.
Right.
Like, in the day before, like, internet or cell phones and shit like that. Like, to the T.
To be fair, he was a pretty important person, and he was on TV, so it was
I'm talking about, any other time. Like, how did he find her? How did he find her boyfriend?
Yeah, he was able to track these people down fairly easily in different parts of India, too. It wasn't like he was, like, in the same town. Like, yeah, that
she gave a clue of, like, we're going to this city. Like, if I said, hey, I live in Los Angeles,
and just
Gian,
a first name, and
would you be like, oh yes, I'm gonna find Daniel right away?
And just the first name, and this is just like, I don't know how common or rare. Like, I don't know if there's like only one, whatever his name, Anushman, I think it was, or whatever his name was.
Oh, you're saying like Muhammad? If you go to like a Muslim country, you're gonna find
if we go to Saudi Arabia and look for Muhammad, you know, that's
Muhammad what? Muhammad?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever, you know.
It's gonna be looking for a haystack in a pile of haystacks. But we don't know, like, this name might be a rare name, but there was no last name either. She was never like fucking
but that's not even
so-and-so Singh, and he was able to track her down. And I get it.
That wasn't even my point. I just wanted to bring that up. It was funny. But what I wanted to say is the scene where he finally does find her, and he's like, you're coming with me. And she's like, no. And it was this weird tone where he was like, you don't understand. Like, you don't get it. Like, you're coming with me.
Okay.
But by the end of the scene, I was like, he convinced me just like he convinced her.
Right.
And it fucking worked. Like, to me, that's great writing, even though the circumstances are so fucking weird.
Well,
there's a lot of
what
these
annoyed me
pockets.
about all of that stuff, including when her family shows up, is like, I don't understand why you couldn't just say, hey. But it was like, it's none of my business. He was like playing it's none of my business, so I'm going to play along and lie to you guys. Like,
Oh, you mean towards the end?
No, the whole time. They show up like, where's our daughter? We know she's with you. And he's like, no, she's not. Yes, she is. No, she's not.
Oh,
yes, she is.
He could have
no,
just
she's
said.
not. Yes, she is. You're right. She is with me. I'll bring her to you in 10 days. That's ridiculous.
That's kind of true.
That's
but he liked her, though.
He did like her. And I get it. Like, part of it was like, I don't want to snitch on her because it's none of my business. And
maybe he doesn't want to disgrace the family. Or like,
I get it. Like, he doesn't.
He cares about the family because
No,
of
it
her.
was her more than anything. It was like, I don't want to, like.
But her family's an extension of her.
Yeah,
I'm not arguing.
She made a decision, and he's respected her decision. But at the same time, this could have escalated way crazier.
I'm with you. I don't disagree with what you're saying.
And then it happens again that he doesn't tell her, hey, your family's looking for you. Like,
yeah,
why?
That's the scene I'm talking
about. Yeah, exactly.
About.
I know that's the scene you're talking about. And I'm saying it's a continuation of the same thing. Like, why you got all aggressive with her, you're coming with me now.
And then it happens again.
Yeah. Instead of just coming out.
When the boyfriend was there.
At a certain point, your suspension of disbelief is like, come on.
I'm with you.
At some point, like, be like, hey, listen, your family's looking for you. I told them I'm going to bring you back. I get
Which
shit.
I don't even know why he decided to bring her back. Like, I feel like most people would have been like, she's over here.
Well, he didn't, like I said, that was more defensible because he didn't want to, like, she had a secret. It's not his place to tell her family her
is it
secret.
his place to go get her back?
No. Either way, it's a ridiculous situation.
I think that's where the movie started to go off the rails for me. It didn't go like I didn't hate the movie. I liked the movie, but you know by the time it ended, I enjoyed it all. You know, I enjoyed like when he finally does find her, and then he's like, call him, talk shit, like to the boyfriend when Geet's talking shit to the boyfriend, and then the boyfriend comes back like the next day at their hotel or whatever.
Yeah, and how did he? Yeah, exactly. Once again,
someone finding they have trackers on each other.
I mean, unless this was a small town and this was like the only hotel in town.
And if it is, I'll accept it.
And that's fine because we don't know
exactly.
Any better.
But I doubt it.
Yeah.
In my mind, I doubt it. But anyway,
and then 9 months later, and she tells him 9 months later too, like, what, you gonna come back here 9 months later? And she still takes him back.
No, I like that.
You like that she took him back?
No, I like that he comes and he tells her like I was afraid, this and that, and it was prompted because of the argument. Now, does it make sense in terms of a grounded, normal narrative? No. But in this narrative, where I've already accepted, okay, we're going on a ride.
Right.
I like that twist
I guess
because it changes the dynamics of like, because they went with it. They were like, okay, I'm willing to go there.
And
right?
Aditya gets shit on again.
Now
that's
see now that's where I didn't like because he's there, right? And he's like the boyfriend the boyfriend is there in the background and he can't do anything. And we already discussed like why couldn't you say anything at any point, right? Where was the boyfriend's balls the whole time? That's what I don't understand. I can understand Aditya maybe not saying anything because of what the reasons you said. I could say Geet not saying anything. Geet not saying anything because obviously Geet. But the boyfriend not saying anything, especially at the end when he kisses her. Like I expected them to fight, Aditya and the boyfriend. Like when they do that great plant and payoff, where it's like, is he looking? Is he watching? And he's like, what? And he says yes or whatever. And
it's a callback.
Yeah. Exactly. I like that bit, but why didn't he fight? Like, he was getting angry. He just left.
I mean, I think...
Like, to me, I think where was his balls to be like, this is my woman?
Well, because I think he accepted, like...
And he was with their family?
Exactly. Like, that's the thing, like, and we you know, on Arjun Reddy, like, people commented some of the things. They didn't completely understand the point that we were making, but that's for another day. You know, there's the family thing, and, like, if he's trying to win this girl back, him, like... Number one, if he's going out there aggressive and telling people he's not the boyfriend,
especially when he's the husband right now in their eyes.
Exactly, like it's not going to go.
Maybe that's true.
It's not
Maybe
go
just me talking this out makes it.
You know, that I was okay with. You know,
rape jokes. That was interesting, because I don't know if you can. Well, this is not America. I understand that.
No, but there was a lot of rapey shit going on when she
the whole karate.
Yeah,
thing.
well, just before that, all those guys were like, "I'll pay you," and then they got real like creepy rape stares on.
And they were in a brothel. They went to a brothel.
Right, exactly.
But I'm just talking about their jokes. Like they explicitly made jokes about. Like, I know karate.
You think I'm gonna rape you because you know karate? Yeah, like.
But it's brought up 3 times.
Right.
I'm just saying it was a little risque.
I don't know if that was humor though. I don't know if it was comedy. It was kind of.
You don't think it was a joke?
No, I don't think so. I think it was a little serious.
I think the first time was serious.
Because I think.
And then it became a joke by the end.
At that point, his character was not in a good mood.
At the beginning, yeah, it was serious. I think it became a joke. Because when they go, they come together, and then he tells her like, "I know karate." There's no way that wasn't a joke, like in a playful manner, unless I don't know. Because I mean.
I just keep seeing him.
Either way, it was definitely
it was
weird.
A little weird, for sure.
I mean, it's not weird, but it's weird because of the climate we live in now. Where
there's another thing that maybe we didn't completely pick up on, but it takes me back to Chak De India, where the Punjabi girl was real aggressive, and.
Well, the family was real aggressive.
They were real aggressive, and she was a bit aggressive herself as well. You know, like she was kind of in your face. You know, maybe not pushing people around trying to beat them up like the Punjabi girl.
She was forceful.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I'm wondering, was that like supposed to be like a stereotype of a Punjabi person? And you know,
I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Yeah,
because it's like she kept on mentioning like you know, that she's from Punjab, and you know, and we're not
Completely
well
familiar with all
versed
that
in the
stuff,
different
yeah.
states stuff. I don't even know where he's from, really. You know, was he from Mumbai? Was he from? Yeah,
He's from the city, yeah.
Well, they met in Mumbai. They said they met. They lied and said they met in
Yeah.
Mumbai.
And he said his name was Aditya Kumar instead of
Right.
Kashyap.
They touched on the casting again, ever so slightly, but it wasn't
Kind
a
of not
major
as not. It
theme.
wasn't as like it didn't get in the way. I feel like. Of
No, but
anything.
that's part of the reason why dude didn't want to marry her because of that, and like she was like gonna abandon her family because of it as well, and you know.
I like the uncle though, or the grandpa, excuse me. Like the way they shot him. Like
Yeah.
he was just the supreme leader of the clan leader.
Right.
But anyway, let's get into questions. Which you guys can ask too, by the way, if you want. Always the email the screen. For all the movies reviews that we do, we will go ahead and get these. Divyanshu Chada says, I felt that Shahid Kapoor's transition from not having feelings for Kareena Kapoor to falling in love with her should have been more explicit. I wanted to see more clues in moments where Shahid Kapoor is falling for her. I 100% agree. I have 100% agree. Because you don't really see it at all. But let's keep reading. Enjoyed the movie. You could argue that the ending is predictable, but I wouldn't want it any other way because of the self-sacrificing quality of the male lead. The songs, although hit and miss with the masses, definitely slow the pace of the movie. I also agree, but I was entertained. I recommend the movie as it remained lighthearted and fun even in the second half. Do you agree with everything I said above? Will there be any mention of Dick by Daniel in this review? Well, there wasn't going to be, but since you brought it up... How big do you think Aditya's dick is? Do you think that's what brought the smile back?
Not as big as the fiance, okay? Obviously.
But anyway, I agree with everything he said. Actually, to be honest with you.
No, that was a pretty accurate assessment.
Because he definitely falls in love without you really seeing them like falling in love.
Well,
because you can't see them fall in love because it's supposed to be a twist.
No, but I think I see him falling for her. Like he keeps on looking for her. He has these fantasy sequences with
Well, no, later on. I'm talking about when they're together though. Like while they're building a relationship while they're together.
Oh, you mean like I mean, I feel like
it looked like they were friends the entire time.
I feel like that happens when he visits her family. That was like that first family visit when I
remember the first one.
Yeah, and then
the
she's
sister.
like, "Let's escape," you know, and she's like,
"Oh, you're saying that's what triggered?"
Yeah, like him,
like
he's like really starts seeing the kind of person she
yeah.
is, and the freedom that she wants to have.
That's true.
And, you know, that's what her spirit is what he falls in love with. You know, because he's got all these preconceived notions of what his life is supposed to be, and then she
changes it.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly.
Rick and Patel asked, this is a cult classic film. I have watched this 1,000 times. Not my favorite, but thoroughly enjoyed it.
Then why you watch it 1,000 times if it's not your favorite, Rick?
That's what I want to know. What do you guys think of the character arcs of the two leads?
I think he definitely had an arc. I don't think she had much of an arc because the only time you see her down in the dumps was in like a 3-minute scene. You know, the whole film she's exactly the same except for that part. And then she starts to regain it back, but she gets it back real fast. You know?
Yeah, I would agree that she doesn't have an arc because I believe in order for your character to have an arc, your character needs to make decisions and choices along the way that result in trials and tribulations that make you grow.
And this wasn't her movie; it was his movie the entire time. She
made the decision to go back to him at the end, but that's pretty much.
But she still like she wasn't a lead character. She was supporting.
She was a strong supporting.
Very strong supporting cast, but at the end of the day, she's still
not the lead.
Was not her story. We didn't.
And it has nothing to do with the fact she was a woman. She
no,
just didn't have.
Everything was seen through his perspective.
Right.
Everything everything that happens is through his.
He's
lens.
the one who goes back to find her.
Exactly.
He's the one that has to like try to bring her back. He's the one who if we follow him as his life gets better, we don't really see her as her life gets worse. We see the montage sequence, but only after. He's talked to the boyfriend.
And it's still through his eyes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He talked to the boyfriend about it.
Right, exactly.
And that's how he found out. So Jay Schreier asks, choose one in terms of better expression / acting. Excessive gleeful Kareena in first half versus sad, somber Kareena in second half.
The second half, she had a little more depth in her performance because the first half was so over the top.
Plus, she got hurt.
Exactly.
So you know that there's somewhere.
And by that point, we already have like some sort of investment in her character. Yeah. First half is like she was a vehicle.
Yeah, she was a reason why they.
She was a reason for him to change and get his life back together. But
we'll finish up. Sorry we didn't get Jay Schreier. Sorry we didn't get to all your questions, but we're kind of on a schedule here. Tejan, we'll finish with you since technically you're the reason why we're reviewing this movie for your birthday next week, and I'm not releasing it on your birthday, so. Where do you rate Shahid Kapoor as an actor. What would you do if you ever come across a girl like Geet in your life?
Well, I'm married, so if I come across a girl like Geet, I'm like leaving immediately. Just because I feel like she's gonna, even if I don't want her, she's gonna cause trouble in my life. And my wife's like, "Who's this crazy bitch calling you all the time?"
Call all the time.
Yeah, she'd be calling all the time. She'd be trying to hang out, and I'm like, "I'm married. I can't hang out."
She's like, "It's okay.
We're friends. I'm marrying this dude in some other town. It's cool."
And if you told your wife that,
yeah,
she'd be like, "Oh, just go on, have fun, hang out then."
Yeah. I think I answered already earlier in the review.
How you rate him? Yeah, underrated.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think of the
underutilized.
Of the stars that people talk about in our comment section, he is not mentioned enough. I think I don't know if he's just doesn't make the same amount of money, which seems to be important as well. But so far we've seen him play completely different characters in every movie we've seen him. So
in the Arjun Reddy movie, he's playing the.
Oh, is he?
The recast. He's playing Arjun
Oh, so
Reddy.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, so it could be good.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, the same director. It's the same director. So I'm interested to see
what he does.
What he does with some money
and some money. Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, I'm with Gian and everything you said. I agree. Thanks for the questions. Sorry we didn't get through all of them. But yeah, overall, let's put a rating on it and put this review to bed. What would you rate this film?
I'm gonna give it a solid 7. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
I'm at a 7 too.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is. Nothing really bad. Yeah, there's little moments here and there, but I think for the first time in a while, I was like, okay, this is the movie it's going to be. Let's go with it.
Right.
Let's just.
And I think that's in agreement with most of the comment section too, because not too many people were saying this is the greatest movie ever made. It was just like, it's a good movie.
Well, a lot of people said it's a great love story, and I can see why. I could totally see why, because it checked all the boxes. I think that's important. And it never really went too far over the top or too far whatever. It kind of stayed, not grounded, but it kind of stayed tonally consistent,
exactly.
Which is important.
Yeah, and I think, like I mentioned earlier, the whole beginning sequence was a risk in itself, I think, at least compared to the other films that we've watched.
No dialogue,
right?
No music, just straightforward.
Yeah,
I agree.
so I think that helped it out a lot for my Western eyes.
I agree.
Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. Next week, we're going to be reviewing Peeply Live, and thanks for watching. We will see you next time.